Ladies and gentlemen from around the world, it is Thursday. It is not Friday. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you're like, I turned up on Friday and you weren't there. I'm sorry, but it is my wife's birthday. I have to commit. I have to commit to being a husband. There is another world outside of the World of Warcraft and I have to take part in it. She gave me the scowl last night. She gave me the scowl. She was like, it's her birthday today, by the way, and I totally worked all day. And I'm raiding tonight. But that's fine, because we decided that she would... Oh, she decided that she would like to do something on Friday so it can lead into Saturday and I don't have to be taken over and do all those kind of things. So that is the dream. However, a couple of things to address before we jump in today into the fun. Yes, it is my wife's birthday, but she played me like a damn fiddle. You want a drama story? Here's a drama story for you. I had, in fact, purchased cards for my children to give to my wife. I had done that job. That is my duty. That is what I did. And then, a door opens, a wife enters. She looks upon me in my hovel in my corner, producing stuff to provide for the family. And she says, the kids are a little worried. Says, you haven't really got any, like, super gifts for me. And they're wondering when that's going to happen. Well, it should be pointed out here that on my return from Germany, where I, went away for 2 weeks, which apparently meant that she needed rewards, managed to twist that one somehow, is I purchased a really nice bottle of perfume. In fact, I had the joyous help of Mr. Martin Creek and, of course, Kylo from the Method team to help me do that. We went around all of Duty Free as men with one of the ladies there helping us, sampling all the perfumes on offer and got a very delicious little perfume for her, which was for her birthday. So I was going to give her that from the children, but not good enough. So she said, I would really like some, I just like some jammers. Cozy jammers. So I said, no problem. I will head out to Asda with the kids and I'll let them pick some jammers for you, my darling wife of, I think, 14 years. No problem. Upon arriving at the supermarket, it turned out that Emma had done what I like to call the female trick. In that she had implanted into the brains of these two small boys a list of things that she would like for her birthday. And she had convinced the boys that these things were essential for her to enjoy her birthday. My children now know the word Prosecco. They don't know Tango. They don't really know Coca-Cola. They do know Prosecco. They know dressing gown. They know cake. They know a whole variety of things that apparently Emma needed in order to enjoy her birthday this morning. Okay, time for some, what do we call, malicious compliance on the part of me, because I will not be played. I will not be played. No, I won't. So I will provide these things for you. I will. But I'm going to let the children decide which ones you should have. Oh, yes. Would you like to see Emma's birthday cake? Would you? Would you like to see Emma's birthday cake? Oh, she's happy. She's overjoyed. Let me show you Emma's birthday cake. Now, it is an M&M's birthday cake that serves, apparently, 26 people. But she got herself a birthday cake, didn't she? Oh, isn't that amazing? Look, it's got a smiley face, right? It appears to be just dripping in chocolate goo. I'm sure it's delicious. Oh, you love the cake. You love the cake. Oh, it's amazing. 26 people can feed upon this cake. And that's what she will get for her 35th birthday, is a lovely M&M chocolate cake. That is something that she will have. Flowers that I let the kids choose, which weren't that pretty to start with, but the kids chose them. They're for their mother. I also let the kids hide the flowers in their bedroom to give to their mother this morning. During their preparation for waking us up to celebrate her birthday, they apparently trampled and killed the flowers while trying to wrap them. And they gave Emma some dead flowers. To which she looked at me and went, and I just smiled. And She told the kids, thank you for the beautiful flowers that she got, though. Yeah, she's happy. She's fine. She's fine. So that's why we're having Drama Time on Thursday. It's her birthday today, but we're going to do some stuff tomorrow. Apparently, we're going to a Harry Potter train thing. I don't know, dude. It sounds pretty lame. On another note, though, as some of you did see on Twitter, we were hoping to keep it private, but Emma had had enough, and she wanted to say something. Yes, we have been receiving a hell of a lot of threats from somebody over the last little while, including like we should have protection at PreachCon. Going to get you. I personally think it's a nothing thing that's going to be blah blah blah, somebody after attention. However, as they kind of started including the kids in it, Emma's taken it to the police. We do know who it is. I don't get it. You do you. Whatever. But yeah, they're dealing with it. So I can't really talk about it more. Emma did put out on Twitter that she's not tolerating that shit. I get a lot of them about World of Warcraft. Personal threats. What are you doing? Ask yourself. What are you doing? I get a lot of them, but obviously when they include the family, Emma gets a little bit more annoyed. So she's dealing with it. The police are informed. You made your phone number public to the guys you're threatening. Sure, dude. So let's move on. Let's move on. Yeah, I mean, which makes me think it's just somebody desperate for attention. But let's have some fun. Let us have some fun, shall we? Yeah, we'll start here. Now, I'm going to warm us up with this because it's a little sad. It's a little sad, but it's kind of funny. Oh, yeah, just give the phone number to you guys. That won't end badly. Okay. I shouldn't really talk about it, but turns out he's been threatening us for months, but we have an email inbox, which is like YouTube messages, which just gets spammed, obviously, with thousands and thousands of things. So he's been threatening us for months, and none of us noticed. I think that made the guy more and more angry. Because it was like giant paragraphs of shit that like nobody was reading, and he got even more annoyed because nobody gave a shit. Oh man. Okay. We need I don't know, it's kind of dumb. It's kind of dumb, but it is the way it will go. Let's have the wonderful Mr. Dajani, our wonderful Patreon supporters who do provide our YouTube content. Oh, also for the YouTube video that's going up, it's nearly finished rendering. It's on 93%. So I'll upload it after Drama Time. There's a little Easter egg at the end for those of you who are familiar with the ins and outs that go on here. So watch out for that because it's just tacked on at the end. Okay. Let's have a little story. Let's have some fun on this Thursday afternoon. My story begins in Legion. Remember? I remember. Not long after the Tomb of Sargeras had been released. Ooh, that was a grind, wasn't it, boys? That was a grind. Do you remember? Do you remember Tomb of Sargeras? Whoo! Ooh, that was a slog. That was a slog. I decided that I would play a Horde tune after so many years on the Alliance. So, of course, being an ungilded person, I would get the random guild invites. We all remember the spam we used to get, and probably still do to this day. One day I received one that would allow me to return to raiding, since I had been in a raiding guild since Wrath of the Lich King. My old ally guild had died in the Cataclysm, F. But before that, we were the type of guild that actually had IRL get-togethers. There was even a wedding that I went to. I digress. This is not a story of the good old days and how those friends drifted apart. Oh no. This is a story of a GM, and we shall call him Dajani. Or Tryhard. Choosing raiding over the guild. When I was essentially a trial in this guild, I was told that if I would like to join one of the 2 raid teams, and this is how you would do it. Standard raid applications asking for experience in WoW or other MMOs. What other games you played? Time availability. Nothing strange, right? To join either Team 1 or Team 2. After a couple of weeks of joining their trial alt runs, some drama happened that caused enough people to leave and join a Nemesis guild, which had been formed by a former co-GM of this guild. No longer did my guild have the numbers for 2 raid groups. It was time to absorb Team 2 into Team 1. But our GM, Dajani, persisted. One weekend, I was offered a spot on the raid team, but I informed him, look, bruh, I'll happily join for Friday progression nights and Saturday nights alt trial runs, but I can't come on Tuesdays as I work, right? And it's just not possible. So I'm letting you know now. I can come Friday, Saturday. Who the fuck raids on Friday, Saturday? What in the fuck? Fuck that. But I can't come Tuesday. Not a problem, my friend, says Dajani. Not a problem. And I was officially into a raiding team. We progressed through normal, most of heroic, Emerald Nightmare, and Nighthold to get people geared for TOS. I never understand this going through the old raids. So many of you guys do this. It honestly blows my mind that TOS is out, so we're going to raid Emerald Nightmare. What the fuck? But loads of you do this. Is there a benefit I'm not getting? Because I don't understand it. Like, why? Why? I mean, that gear has to be worse than, like, dungeon gear, right? At that point. It has to be. Alright. But the idea was to introduce people to raiding for the first time. Such as an arms warrior, who I will refer to as Holly. Enter Holly. Holly was a regulation IRL grandma. Her first raiding experience was Nithendra, and she was genuinely terrified. She thought dragons were really scary in World of Warcraft. The co-GM and the co-raid leader were both wonderful ladies who talked Holly through the whole encounter. And afterwards, Holly, our grandma, said she quite enjoyed raiding. There was an issue, though, with Holly, besides the most apparent being her new to World of Warcraft. She had to help care for her grandson, and her internet was not reliable. She was still using a 56k modem on the Baptist Gossip internet. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Pretty regularly, her internet would drop, sometimes for a few seconds and sometimes for an hour. The more humorous instances included being DC'd using a flight master and coming back on to find her character dead in the water. Holly was brought in for most of Tomb of Sargeras progression on normal. But we cleared normal, and now it was time for heroic. She played a Tauren warrior, and when we hit heroic Maiden of Virtue progression, seeing that big Tauren grandma with the bomb doing the running man, need I say more? It was time to ask grandma to leave the raiding team. Who's going to do it? Who's going to tell Granny she can't raid anymore? That she's not good enough? We struck a deal. Oh, don't cry for Granny. Don't cry. We struck a deal. She was only not allowed to come on some progression nights. Usually, it would only be for one boss. And then they would bring her back in for the next. In fact, by the grace of RNGesus, the first normal Sargeras kill with this group had no issues, and Granny was in the raid team. The next raid night in Heroic, the co-raid leader said invites were getting ready to go out. Nobody had the balls to tell Granny that she was officially being cut from the raid team. So this is how they handled it. In guild chat, Holly asks for an invite. No response. I didn't think anything of it because I hadn't received mine either. But when my invite appeared, I saw that Holly was not in the raid. Inv, please, Holly says in green. Invite, question mark? She can now see that we're all inside the raid, ready to go. And she's not been invited. Nothing is said for a while. I'm thinking, of course, that Holly and the co-raid leader had talked. I didn't think anything of it. I had missed the Tuesday night as usual, and we were going straight on to Maiden. We pull. Holly sees this and instantly G quits. Neither Dajani or the co-raid leaders had told Holly. They had decided that to avoid drama, they would simply ignore her until she got the message. You pieces of shit. You absolute pieces of shit. It doesn't matter that she's a grandma. It doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. You total pieces of shit. God damn, this makes me so angry that you literally let somebody in guild chat spam for an invite and none of you had the fucking balls to say sorry. Jesus fucking Christ, man. I was disappointed, as was the rest of the raid team. I agreed and understood why Holly couldn't come. I got it. It's Maiden. It's a pain in the ass. We can't have somebody who's unreliable. But fuck you for dealing with it this way. This would not be our first disagreement, though. For a while, there was no major drama. Holly just went on about her business and never came back to the guild. Small things here and there that worked out quickly, sure. Until someone else decided to pipe up. Where's my mouse gone? Come back, baby. Yeah. How do I say this? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Thank you for the support, though. Nijwis? How do I say that? I don't know. I'm going with Nidge. You could be Nidge. Nidge. There you go. Sorry, dude. I'm usually good with names, but I gotta say that. Someone came Nidge. Nidge had admitted to being kicked out of guilds for drama. He even put it in his application. To which Dajani said it probably was nothing and decided to accept his trial. Hey, just so you know, I've been kicked loads of times from different guilds for being a dick. Come on in. Come on in. We need people. He said it was because we had the backing of 3 guys, who I shall collectively call the 3 amigos. But individually, there were a Pally, an enhancement shaman, and an Epine holy priest, who loved abusing the legendary cloak for the healing meters. One alt night, I tanked Antorus for the first time. We got as far as Agramar. But our friend was having issues. Most of said issues was that she was not dancing correctly or not keeping her ad away from mine, despite me placing the flares down and matching marks on us. Lord praise us, I do not miss Agramar ever. That is a fight I can do without. Seriously, purple tank stands on purple, green tank stands on green. It really wasn't hard. Once we called it for the night, Nidge whispered me, "Don't leave the group." Nidge wanted me to tank with him. No big, but the red flag popped up in where Nidge asked me to come to his private Discord instead of the guild's. We proceed to finish the raid, but not before Nidge and the 3 amigos start shitting on everybody in the guild, including the social events. They said that the idea of, okay, and I agree with this, they said that the guild having to do Karazhan musical chairs or transmog evenings being on the official schedule, or Dajani's choice of web host was total trash. I didn't disagree completely, but considering that most of the 3 amigos were from dead mythic guilds, I can understand why if they cared about raiding and pushing for logs more than everything else. But it was a social guild. I will not be attending Karazhan musical chairs. Just to let you know, if it's part of the guild, that's a deal breaker for me. I'm not going. Now this is where things got weird. In this guild on raid nights, typically you were on your main unless otherwise asked. Nidge didn't really follow this. Nights when we needed a healer, Nidge would go on his monk. No big deal, okay. Other people do the same thing, including our new girl. He's only for a minute, so we'll go with Dak. Our new girl, Dak, who was part of the 3 amigos. Dak did the same thing. If she wasn't tanking, she'd be on her healer or hunter, but these were done at the GM's request. One night, Nidge was on his mage when we got to Kingaroth. We wiped, and Nidge, disappointed that his lower geared mage was not putting up the same numbers as mine, goes on his Ellie Shaman. Didn't ask anyone, just did it. But told Dajani he was doing it after he'd relog. I just shook my head and went with it. Another night, Nidge brought on his Rogue. Just for the early bosses, because some people don't need gear from there. Piece of shit. Fucking hate people doing this. On Tuesday night, apparently, Nidge and Dajani have words. Nidge gets kicked. You know these people weren't players? Fair enough. Friday night, the three amigos, because their friend had been kicked, refused to raid. And this is why guilds don't like inviting groups of people. Because this always fucking happens. It's me and my 4 friends. We can fill out your raid team, no problem. I was a trial officer for about a month now. So when Dajani and Co and myself were in officer voice chat, the 3 of us suggested we need to kick one of the 3 amigos to make a point. We think we know who the weakest of them is, and if we kick them, then the rest of them will probably stay. We might even be able to recover, as they tend to be agreeable. But if they stick with the guy we kicked, oh well, doesn't particularly matter. But we can move on with our life and get on with our days. See, this isn't the first time one of the 3 amigos was being belligerent. Oh no, a couple of weeks prior, Dajani felt he needed to lay down the law about raid rules and alts. Mains only on progress night, he said, while most of the decision in the guild would be held democratically. In the end, this was a benevolent dictatorship. If he needed to pull rank as GM, he would do it. But the 3 amigos were offended. One of them pointed out that this is America. This is America, the land of the free. We have no room for anything like a dictatorship, even in games. We fought a war about this kind of thing. I mean, there you go. Dajani and the amigos went back and forth for a bit on this. I swear if I had the authority mic, I would have kicked them from Discord and the guild and would have been done with it and saved us some major trouble. I log in during the week following our suggestion of kicking one of them, and I find that lo and behold, Nidge had been reinvited to the guild by Dak, and Dak had G-quit. I didn't need to be online to know what happened. Dajani had chosen his desire for a full raid team over a happy guild. He took a calculated risk, thinking if he got all the amigos back together by bringing Nidge back, then we would go straight back to good raid progression. But in doing so, had angered other members of the guild, including Dak, and they had left for their nemesis guild. The next raid night, given this new power, one of the amigos says, I'll tank on my paladin. Oh, he's asked to tank on his paladin to help progress. Can't. My paladin's saved to heroic. No loot will drop for me. But your paladin is your main. So you need to save your main for this. Unless you really have to swap. They go back and forth for 20 minutes. I offered, dudes, I'll tank. It's fine. Just relax, I'll tank. Dajani says no. The rules are rules. As this argument is going on about bringing mains, one of the other amigos says, I could come on my druid to heal if we're bringing alts. Comedy ensues. For me, when Tuesday night rolls around, and since I was off that Wednesday, I would help put out if there was a raid going on. I checked the guild log. Dajani has kicked 2 of the 3 amigos, and also nobody was coming back from the people who had left because we re-invited the amigos. At this point, our decision to try raid had cost us 7 people. But we're not quite done yet, ladies and gentlemen. We're not quite done yet. Old Ear's coming. Opening night. Dajani says raid invites are going out. Myself and one other raider don't receive invites. To be fair, Okay, relax. Dajani had asked in Guild and via message of the day with the BFA pre-patch, if you want to raid in BFA, whisper me. Now, I hadn't, because, duh, I'm in every raid I could possibly be at. However, someone else who had been in the guild longer than I, who raided more than I in the guild, thought the same thing, and even went in the guild, hey, I'd like to raid. But the guild carried on pulling. He then types in the guild chat, well, I guess I'm not needed. Dajani replied, oh, I said if you wanted to raid, you needed to whisper me. Smiley face. It says in brackets here, yes, he even included the smiley. Caps lock begins. It is right fucking there in G-chat. I threw my hands in the air and said, fuck this guy. I stopped logging on my guild tunes for a while, missed raid nights intentionally, and otherwise one day was asked if it would be okay with being demoted. No big. I wasn't being an officer and even caught voice comms between Dajani and another officer, bringing me up in the same vein as Dak saying that I was an alt bitch. Who was only useful whenever they would need me. They also said that apparently I'm a thief. But I was taking profession mats out of the guild bank to put in the materials in order for the flasks and stuff. But apparently that makes me a thief. The day after I was demoted, all the way from officer to trial, he demoted me while I was offline, refusing to speak to me. One Friday night, I find out that Dajani's work shifts have changed, and his new cold leader is now the man to lead us in raiding. He quite liked me. He whispers me if I want to tag along. So while Dajani is away, I certainly do. I go in and get as much gear as I can. The last night I raided, he brought me in for the last 2 bosses of Uldir and then started heroic progression. I missed Mother because my roommate needed a ride from work and I didn't make him back in time to get an invite for their second pull. After Mother, I was re-invited. We get to Fetid. Wiped once, and then Dajani logs in. He's here to take over main tanking. He doesn't speak to me. He knows I'm there. I'm right there on the damage meter. He doesn't speak to me, doesn't acknowledge I'm there. The rest of the raid night goes okay. We down Fetid. I get the staff on a bonus roll, which a new mage spammed if I needed it. Dajani speaks before I could. That was a bonus roll. You can't have it. He clearly sees me. We down Zek and Vectis. It's a cluster and a half. I don't know if it was a bug or what, but we had several pulls where Vectis just goes fucking nuts. Cut to the next week. Invites are going out. I am now one of the most geared in the raid from Heroic. I didn't get an invite. I open up my social tab as I'm checking on someone and see the quick join has a 1 by it. It was the raid team. They're pugging some extra places. I almost decided to click request to join to see if he'd deny it. No one has spoken to me as to why I can't come to the raid. Sometime later, Dajani and his raiders decide that we're going to transfer off the server to a higher pop one for a better pool of mythic potential raiders. And anyone interested can follow. I laughed. So did most of the raid team. In fact, the only people to move were him. A week later, I receive a whisper from a character I don't recognize. But I knew who it was. Asking if we were looking for raiders. I didn't say anything to him. The next day, the guild message of the day was changed. A message that hadn't been changed since January of last year. Letting interested parties know that the option to transfer was still open if they wanted to raid. Funny timing, that. In closing, please, for the love of God, will you speak to your raiders, you cowardly raid leaders? Speak to them. Don't choose potential recruits over the people who make your guild fun and interesting. And for the love of God, don't believe that you are God gift to raiding. Don't do it. What a piece of shit. What What a piece of shit. Granny? This guy? What the fuck is going on with you people? Why? Why? Oh my god. You guys make me infuriated with this shit. Fucking cowardly raid leaders are the absolute worst. You really are. What a tit guild, indeed. What an absolute tit guild. Unbelievable. It actually makes my blood boil to know that, especially Granny, was just like, invite, and they couldn't fucking say a goddamn word. Alright, let's have a noob story to calm our hearts. How many of you have done blood infusion? I have. I have, of course. I'm sure many more of you are probably doing it recently. You have. How hard is blood infusion? Especially after Wrath of the Lich King. It sucks. It sucks. Would you help? Does it count? It's not hard. No, it is not hard. But it does... It requires a little bit more help than, say, the other infusions. Alright? Anyway... Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to help someone. We're going to help our friend Martin. He needs a Shadowmourne, and we're just the people to help him out. Right? Good day to your preacher and to your wonderful chat. This is a tale of blood infusion. Blood infusion is about to be attempted by 3 RPers and 1 friend during Warlords of Draenor. I'm a glutton for your chat's punishment, so I feel this warrants the attention of your esteemed audience. Okay. Abort. Abort. RPer doesn't mean bad player. I should begin by saying that I was an RPer and a raider, but now I am just a raider. I tried not to be an elitist, God, I tried, but sometimes people push your patience. They make it very difficult not to rise up, and that is what happened here. I have since given up trying to help people and now embrace my top 50% pass elitism. For the previous week or so, my internet had been particularly third world. I live in Sheffield. Understood. Understood. So I benched myself from heroic Arkham progress. I was off tank and it was wiping us several times. So while I could technically play, but just not well, I logged on to one of my RP characters, an Orc Warrior. I was immediately bombarded with a request to help someone with obtaining Shadowmourne. 2 of my RP guild guildies were trying to help a Death Knight RP, a friend of theirs, outside of our guild with the blood infusion. For any of you that don't remember how blood infusion is done, I'm sure there's some people here who haven't done it, the person getting Shadowmourne has to be infected by the Blood Queen and bite 3 different players in the ICC encounter before the boss dies. Never in my fucking life would I have thought this would be difficult to do in Warlords of Draenor. But boy, was I wrong. Upon reaching the boss, our new friend Martin ran straight into the boss and pulled it. My 2 guildies, and I need to be clear here because yes, it is why I was in the raid, are both girls. Understood, my friend. So I thought, as we just straight up pulled, that the girls knew what they were supposed to do. And they stood still, waiting for our Death Knight friend to bite them. He was going to bite one of them first, then another, and then me last. While waiting for the first minute before the bite, I brought up in the chat, why am I here exactly? As with 2 other players and a combat res, you can just get this done. Martin replies to let us know why. You're not allowed to combat res in here. I mean, that's a Hearthstone right there. Right? That's a Hearthstone. Like, straight off the bat. That's an immediate Hearthstone. I'm out. I am out. I am gone. Goodbye. I am done. I found this odd. I'm 99.9% sure that you can in fact combat res in here. In fact, when I did blood infusion, I did the combat res thing. Soon, girl 1 is bitten. As that happens, Martin dies. He's level 100. How the fuck did you die? Regardless, whatever. Failed try. I expected at least one. I placed the Brazier of Awakening, the combat res from WoD, and waited for the boss to slowly kill us. Meanwhile, I inspect our friend Martin. He's wearing a mix of Warlords of Draenor questing greens and blues. Not amazing gear, but he still shouldn't die to ICC content. I asked him what happened. Martin informs me that his death recap is blank. It doesn't say anything. I didn't have a mod for my own death log, so whatever. I was beginning to get suspicious though, team. I think Martin might be shit at the game. It's entirely possible. But I brushed it off. It's nothing. We're doing Blood Infusion. It's fine. I rezzed everyone. One of the girls had rezzed at the graveyard by accident. Okay. Okay. And while she was running in, Martin pulled the boss again with just two of us in the room. Okay. 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 Do you want to reset and wait for the other person to get here? No, Martin declares. You just said we could do it with us two. Okay. Alright. Alright. Okay. I said, okay then. Sure. Make sure you bite me then. He bit me and then I killed myself in the fire for him to combat res me. He had about 40 seconds left before he had to do the next bite. CR me, I say. Nothing happens. 20 seconds left before the bite. CR, please. What is CR? Martin asks in the chat. What do you mean? Cur. What does cur mean? Oh, God. Okay, so we actually tell him to open his spellbook and find the correct spell. We wiped. He doesn't do it fast enough. Why aren't you rezzing me? I ask. Why aren't you rezzing me? As I told you, Martin declares, it wouldn't let me cast it. I inspect his glyphs, and sure enough, his Ray's ally still costs 20 runic power, which he didn't have because he's not allowed to DPS the boss yet. I was becoming irritated. My time and repairs were being wasted on our boy Martin. But I decided to put up with it because there are girls there. And I was trying to show off, and this is his words, I was trying to show off my big boy raider skills. And I'm assuming your chat already guessed this. Martin pulled, he was bitten. He ran up to me to bite me, but with just a couple of seconds to spare, he stops, turns around, and runs towards one of the girls and gets mind controlled halfway between us. Why, Martin? He replies, because that was the order that we said at the beginning. Okay, then. Okay. We all died again. We run back to the instance. And on the way to the boss, Martin speaks in party chat. Are you dudes gonna stick to the plan this time, or ... question mark? I love it. There's nothing better than ignorant confidence. It's so good. It really is, right? It really is. Ignorant confidence is the best. It's so good because it's just, you can't get more ultimate facepalm than ignorant confidence. It's so good. I was angry to say the least. I asked the girls in guild chat, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? While in party chat though, I calmly explained, just bite us and don't die. That's the plan. Okay? It's all on you, my friend. Just bite us and don't die. That's it. One of the girls decides that to help this out, she's going to relog to a priest so that she can heal Martin throughout the fight. He pulled while she was offline. And then he died by running on top of the other girl during the air phase, in which the heavy AoE still does significant damage if you stack up. I remind Martin, don't stand on people. Okay? This upset Martin greatly. Immediately, he hurled back torrents of verbal diarrhea. He told me, and I quote, that I'm probably a scrub that only raids flex and hasn't moved up to normal mode yet. Right. Right then. We're good. We're good. I was baffled to say the least. Right then. Okay. I get a whisper from one of the girls. He's only just resubbed. He hasn't played since the end of Pandaria. Alright. I decided to stick around for the girls. I didn't want their time to be wasted either, and I just wanted this guy to get his fucking orange and shut the fuck up. He pulled the boss yet again, and eventually he bit me. Great success. The last bite he needed. I was relieved. But it was short-lived. By the time we had gotten the boss down to 40% or so, one of the girls hadn't been able to get herself killed quickly enough. And she was mind-controlled as a holy priest. I charged at her once I had noticed, but she had healed the boss back to full health. I nuked her down as hard as I could, but she managed to heal back all of it. Eventually, I managed to chain together enough CC to kill her, but the boss was actually damaging Martin faster than he was killing her. Desperately, I charged the Blood Queen, taunted her off him as he reached 10%, and I spam typed out in chat, in all caps, please death strike. He did not death strike. Instead, I noticed the death grip animation come out of his character into the Blood Queen. Unglyphed. The boss turned and immediately began smacking him in the face again as I frantically DPS'd as hard as I could, waiting for taunt to come off cooldown. But she flew up into the air. I breathed a small sigh of relief before I remembered that there is no fucking way that our boy Martin knows how to use anti-magic shell. He had never survived this part independently before. I slapped vigilance on him, never forget, as he started running straight towards me as if looking for help, which was obviously going to kill him. I was now running from the Blood Queen and from Martin. In panic, I heroic leapt all of 10 feet away and ran like hell to keep away from him. I looked back and my eyes must have lit up with joy as I saw a glowing green bubble around him, just in time to stop the last tick of the AoE. She came back down. I taunted, killed her. Martin had survived with 15,000 health remaining. We'd done it, team. I felt like a prisoner of war finally being released. It was glorious and infuriating at the same time. I immediately left the group and hearthstoned. As Martin whispers me, "Useless warrior, you made that so much harder. Did you see my pro as fuck AMS?" I showed it to the girls and went about my day. Thanks for reading, Preach. Keep up the work, and no, I never got anywhere with any of those girls. Kill him! Kill the boy! Bring him down! Useless fucking warrior. You're useless. You are useless. That is just a fact. You are useless. Right, let's have a little fun one to finish up. Op is guilty. You are guilty. I think maybe the op is guilty, actually. Potentially guilty. Let's have Cassandra. Cassandra for this one. Okay. And we need... he didn't give us a title. Let's just go with this, because I think this will infuriate many of you straight away. Let's go with that. Oh, honey. Nothing but impressive. I mean, I kind of fucked up. Oh, no. Oh, God, no. As a priest healer. Oh, any guesses? Feel free to guess. Oh, okay. Here we go. To begin this story, I have to give a background of the kind of player I was during these events and where I started. I started during the Burning Crusade towards its end. I made it to 70 about a month before Wrath came out, so I never did endgame. In Wrath, I was in a casual guild that attempted raiding, but no. Cataclysm was the expansion that I fell out of, and Pandaria is when I came back to the game full time. You left during Pandaria? Follow the breadcrumbs, team. Didn't reach 70 till the end of Wrath. Quit the game in Kata. You are one of the bastards that ruined dungeons in Kata, aren't you? You couldn't do Stonecore. You. I know who you are. Oh, I know who you are. Oh, yes, indeed. And then you left the game. Guilty. We know. We know who he is. We've seen it before. Now that I'm resubbed and playing the game again, the non-stop guild invites start rushing in. I didn't want to join a guild that was too large, so I accepted one that had 100 members, thinking that it wouldn't be too overwhelming since I was still getting back to the game. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh. Oh, only 100 people? Seems good. There are 25 members of my guild, I believe. And about 5, so 30. About 5 casuals, maybe 7 casuals. That's it. The guild master's name. Oh, we need a guild master's name. Let's have. Tuck. Yeah, let's have Tuck. Beautiful. Beautiful. Join us, Tuck. Okay. The guild master's name was Tuck. From the moment I joined till the moment hell broke loose, she had become what I would dub. Oh, no, sorry. I have to correct this right now. This is Cassandra. This is Cassandra. From the moment I joined till the moment hell broke loose, she had become what I would dub a WoW mother. She would constantly message me to see if I needed help, and generally dote on me constantly. The language she would use while doing this? Sweetie. Honey. Precious. I'll be honest, it didn't set any red flags because I guess I was just a dumb kid at the time. I'm out. I'm out. She would sometimes talk to other members of the guild this way, but I definitely received the most attention for some reason. Even other guild members were taking notice. Mind you, I'd only recently joined the guild, and she was already trying to be my bestest friend. About a month into joining the guild, she sets up a guild event to break the ice. What are we going to do? I know what you're thinking. Is it Karazhan musical chairs? Oh, no. You dumb bastards. We're going to play hide and seek in Ironforge. Great. The rules were simple. You had to turn off nameplates. And when you are found, you join the Seeker to find the rest of the players. It turns out she never found me since I hid in the lava, and during this time the lava wouldn't damage you faster than you healed, so you could stay in it indefinitely. Big brain. I was declared the winner of this game. And my reward? To be the guildmaster. I'm not joking. She promoted me to guildmaster for winning a game of hide and seek. She had never announced what the prize was, and everyone was shocked. But nobody seemed upset because it's probably a joke. I had never run a guild before. And at this point, there was about 250 members as her macros constantly invited people. But I never was relieved of Guildmaster or asked to. In fact, when I brought it up with her, she said she wanted to be second in command of the guild, not even co-GM. She said she could sense something in me that I would be the best person to run our guild. Being a kid, I went for it. I asked to copy her invite macro. First things first. I'm in charge now. Send me the spam invite macro. Bring forth the invite macro. Let it begin. Okay. I had seen so many other guilds doing it, so it's obviously the way you do it. And I started to host my own guild events. We would do transmog competitions, RBGs, and even a little bit of raiding, which never really went well. Our guild was predominantly female. I suppose that was because the other larger guilds on the server were apparently toxic towards girls. That can't be right. Jesus Christ. And they gravitated towards our guild because the GM was originally a woman. Of course, now it was in the hands of a teenage male who has no idea what he's doing. A friend of mine, gamers would never. A friend of mine joined the guild around this time, and I made him an officer because he was my bro. I knew him IRL, and I knew that meant there was trust. The teenage brain at work. I want you to keep in mind that she continued to call me sweetie and honey and precious, like I was her child, up until the event that is about to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, the stage is set. You understand the situation I'm in, and now I can begin to tell you how it all went wrong. Alright, so we're all clear on what happens. About half a year later, around the time of Siege of Orgrimmar's release, I receive an in-game mail. This mail is from a girl in our guild who claimed that my friend, my IRL friend Tuck, had bullied her in guild chat and abused his position as officer. Her mail stated that she no longer felt safe in the guild around such toxic masculinity, and that my friend Tuck should be G-kicked instantly. Damn. What do we do, team? We're guild master. What are we going to do? Instantly, I spoke to Cassandra. She had also received the same mail. So, I was confused, obviously. I started investigating what was going on. When did this happen? This week. Tuck's character hasn't been online for 2 months because he had to unsub while he went to school. Tricky. Tricky. He only had a single alt in the guild, but it also showed that it hadn't been online for 2 months. We confronted the girl about this, and she said, I don't know. Huh. Well, there you go. Cassandra starts to complain at her for lying and trying to get an officer kicked, and this conversation goes on for about an hour before I decide this is really weird, and I log off for the night. I log on the next day, and I find a mail in my box. It was from Cassandra. She never sent me in-game mail. We were Skype friends, Facebook friends, we were all the socials. The mail details about how she wasn't fond of how I had disrespected female members of the guild. And that she had found out after I had logged off that I was a perverted sexist who was abusing his power. Now, this was coming from the same lady who had doted on me in the most creepy way possible and named me Guild Master for winning hide and seek. I checked the guild roster. Sure enough, she had left, along with most of the girl players in the guild. We had dropped to 80 members, and a ton of the guild bank was missing. She had unfriended me on Skype, and I'll be honest, I never heard from her or the other players again. The spooky part of this whole thing is that if you search for any of the players who left, none of them show up as current players. Even at this moment, it's as if all of them unsubscribed from the game simultaneously as they left the guild. Now, the remaining members were still mostly women. They watched it unfold. They had no idea where the perverted and sexist stuff had come from, and they were just as shocked as me to hear about this situation, and they couldn't understand it. Every single one of us tried to reach out to Cassandra or the other players who had left. They never logged back in again. I decided I'm going to give officer control to someone else. I gave it to one of the other girls because she seemed to be the most responsible one of the remaining people playing. And I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't play much after this, as I was genuinely freaked out. And I almost felt bad about what was happening. I was so confused and hurt, and ultimately unprepared, I didn't really do much when I would log back in, besides try and find out what the fuck had happened. But to this day, I have no idea. Alright, we've got time for this one. The next story takes place in Warlords of Draenor. That's a weird one, right? If anyone knows what happened to those ones, this is the same guy. He's got 2 stories here. But anybody who does know what happened to them people, please let us know. We would love to find out. If you were one of those people who left that day from that guild, please contact me. I'll keep it anonymous, but I would love to know. The next story takes place in Warlords of Draenor and was ultimately more eventful than the entire expansion combined, which isn't much I know. Oh, burn. I transferred to a new realm where my IRL friend played. Let's go with Tuck. A different friend from the previous story, but we'll keep the same name. She played Horde, so I had to change my Night Elf DK into a Blood Elf DK. I played with her for a few days until I get a guild invite from a guild called... You guys can fill it in. Cassandra multiboxed all of them? No way. That's too many. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe. You guys could control the guild name. Already from the name... Oh, here, this is how you could describe the name. Already I was getting vibes from their name that they were probably shit at raiding. So, there you go. The MC Film Crew. I actually love that. Yeah, MC Film Crew. That will do. MC Film Crew. I like that one. This guild was also run by a lady, and her in-game name was Cassandra. She had a co-GM that went by the name... Oh, okay. Let's have the co-GM. Let's throw him in. We'll keep Cassandra in for this. It's the same author. We'll go with Jersey. And she was the subject of this particular story. The first thing that happened when I joined the guild was that I was told to come to a little resort area north of Orgrimmar, Gallywix's pleasure palace. Anyhow, I get invited to a party as I'm flying there, and when I arrive, Cassandra and a player were levitating above the water fountain using Jersey's levitate spell, as Jersey was standing between them. I ask, what's going on? And instead of getting reply, I receive a Skype invite. It's from the 3 of them, and I join. I should have learned to get far, far away than what would happen, considering what had happened in my last guild. But spoiler alert, fuck it, I went for it. I get in the call, and I found out that Cassandra and her friend are apparently getting married in-game, and that from now on, we are to refer to them as husband and wife. My first reaction to this was to check the size of the guild to see if I just walked into an RP guild on this normal server for some reason. There were 750 active members of this guild. None of them seemed to be role-playing. I just stood there and watched and listened in voice chat as they went through their marriage vows. I didn't think to leave because maybe it was just something that I'd walked in on. I guess I'm just clueless, and maybe your chat has figured that out by now. And it definitely doesn't do me any good that I keep ending up like this. I made a joke about the situation that I don't really remember, and apparently Jersey found it hilarious because she started giggling like a maniac on Skype. Cassandra hears this and decides that she's going to arrange a new marriage for Jersey and me. Seconds later, she declared that we're now married. The call ended soon after as they had to leave, and I went back to playing with my normal friend. The very next day, Jersey and Cassandra start spamming me in the guild chat to join them on Skype. So I do. Cassandra leaves for about an hour, and now it's just me and Jersey in the call. Now, a reminder, this is no bullshit, and this is literally day 2 of her knowing me. Day 2. Keep that in mind. She starts talking to me like she's known me her entire life. She starts telling me intimate things about herself. And at this point, even my dumb head has caught on to how fucking creepy this is. But I suppose I was shy, insecure, whatever you want to call it, to do anything. About 20 minutes later, I tell her, look, I'm going to be BRB. She says no. I'm not allowed to leave. I, as you guys probably would, think this is a joke. And so I go AFK to grab myself a sandwich. I come back to find the call finished. I figured something had happened, so I messaged in game to see if there's another call going. She doesn't respond, but Cassandra messages me. Why did I make Jersey cry? Oh my god. What? What? I said, what the fuck? What is she crying for? I get invited to a call a few minutes later in order to explain my actions, as I'm told. I tell the guild master Cassandra what happened, that I needed to get a sandwich, and she tells me that Jersey has a tendency to get carried away. So it's fine. It's fine. She invites Jersey into the call without telling me, and Jersey starts yelling at me in between her still sobbing, demanding to know why I had abandoned her like that, considering we were married in game. I told her I was just getting a sandwich. I haven't done anything wrong. I then leave the call so this can be all over. I decided to go to bed instead. You know what? I'm going to bed. Goodbye. We'll deal with this tomorrow. Safety. Good job. Yeah, good job. Good job. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to bed. That's the plan. That's the plan. So the next day, I'm playing with some of the other guildies in BGs. We were goofing off and having a good time. And for some reason, we're talking about turkeys because, you know, it's dudes on comms doing BGs. And one of the guildies yells, "Turkey Squad!" during WSG. Soon after, we started to dominate the BG. I'm pretty sure it was more because the other team was fucking trash than us actually being good. But soon it became an inside joke as well as a war cry for the 5 of us where we would do world PvP or do BGs that we were now Turkey Squad. I became decently good friends with these dudes. They were good dudes over the course of the next few weeks and continued to speak with Jersey and Cassandra on Skype in a relatively normal way. Now that these other guys had joined the calls, Jersey seemed to have become more tame. One night, a few weeks later, the other guys got off except for me, Jersey, and Cassandra's friend. He was actually one of the guys I had PvP'd with and is still a friend to this day. Jersey decided that, considering it was now back to our inner circle, that she could turn the creeper up. She started asking me questions. Where do I live? Where do I go to college? What size feet I have? What kind of clothes do I like to wear? I was obviously aware of this situation right now, so I decided that I would lie and give her all the wrong answers because there's something not right. There's something not right. As I gave her the false answers, she yelled at me for lying because she already knew where I lived for real. She then read out my address and told me how she had found out. She had Googled my in-game name and searched through Google until she had found a post on Facebook where I had apparently said my in-game name to a friend on his post. While she was telling me this, I decided to try and do that. I couldn't make that work. Either she was really good or she was fucking lying. Cassandra's friend started messaging me in the pink, saying I should run. I agreed. Without really responding or doing anything, I just decided to hang up the call and joined a different one with Cassie's friend and the other PvP guys after they got back on. We needed a plan, a boys' plan on how I could escape. All the boys agreed they were going to look after me. First, the plan. I questioned in guild chat if it was okay if we could make our own rated BG team and call it the Turkey Squad. After our inside joke and the guild leader said no. In response, we all instantly G-quit and made a new guild called Turkey Squad. What a guy's plan! Tell you what we're going to do. It's going to be quality. Are you ready for this? We're going to take a meme. We're going to tell the guild master, right, who's dead serious, that we're going to make the meme a real thing. They're going to say no, and on the back of that, we're fucking out of here, because that's all we need, boys. We just need a reason. Just give us a reason, and we're fucking gone. Can we call the team Turkey Squad? No, you can't. Out. Peace. I'm gone. Fucking gone. So we made our new guild called Turkey Squad so quickly they couldn't re-invite us, and subsequently we instantly stuck Cassandra and Jersey on ignore. Before we could unfriend them on Skype, Jersey got into a call. She started screaming, yelling. She called us traitors, horrible people who were rude to women. And before things could escalate any further, we just removed her from the call and went back to doing PvP. Laughing at our bro exit. It's a bro exit. It's not Brexit, it's bro exit. And that wasn't how they just saved me from a stalker. Of course, as you can probably work out, she definitely still knows where I lived. But fortunately, my family was moving at some point, and I blocked her on socials, so she probably wasn't going to make a move. As of now, I can tell you all, you can relax. I never heard from Jersey again. So I guess things turned out all right. Besides the fact that I am now terrified of her, terrified of any woman I meet in World of Warcraft and automatically assume it's Jersey with a fake voice. Thanks for the scars. Thanks for the scars, Jersey. P.S. though, I'm now in a Mythic raiding guild where nobody is crazy and I don't have to fear for my life or randomly get made guildmaster. So that's good news. That is good news, right? Can we all drink that in? I'm now in a Mythic guild where nobody's crazy and I don't have to fear for my life or randomly be made guildmaster. That's an up, right? We're moving up in the world. That's good news. The guild is also run by a woman, but she's nice and normal. I'm surprised I didn't just leave as soon as I found out. As soon as I found out the GM was female again, considering the scars and whatnot. PSS, I tried searching for Cassandra again to see if she still plays. This is the Cassandra from the first story who just disappeared. I tried searching for Cassandra again to see if she still plays, in case she might get targeted should this story ever go public. That's on you. You sent it me. It turns out she still doesn't play, nor do any of the other players who left the guild that day. I still don't know what happened to them, and my friend told me the other day that he thinks they were all her alts, which is what our chat assumption was. I caught it out the corner of my eye. Our chat thinks that. She would have had to have multiple accounts with so many characters, though, for that to be the case. And many of them were high level. I doubt they were all her alts, but it was a spooky thing nonetheless. Spooky thing nonetheless. And that does bring us to the end of this Thursday drama time. You guys watch out, all right? You guys watch out for people Googling you. Don't be mean to Granny. So many lessons learned in this drama time this week. So many lessons learned. As you will know, I am not here tomorrow because I will be celebrating my wife's birthday. Needs a whole day. I just work on my birthday. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, F's for Granny. If you ever bump into Granny, you show Granny some respect and you get some work done. Other than that, the video is released as soon as this finishes. I am going to be uploading it. So there'll be a video on YouTube all about corruption. In about, I want to say an hour and a half. Depends on how long YouTube takes to process it. But it will be there. Look out for the Easter egg at the very end. Thank you very much for a wonderful drama time. Sorry there isn't one tomorrow, but I have duties to take care. Happy birthday, Emma. Indeed. Indeed. And for all you those people who were worried about all the stuff Emma was talking about yesterday, the police are handling it. It should be fine. Maybe it's Jersey. Think about it. Be good, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.